Wonderful. Okay, great. Hello, LinkedIn family. Welcome back. It is Friday, April 22nd. And I know you've all been waiting because I've been advertising it and pushing it out there like, I get to talk with Amy Waninger. Oh, I am so happy just because, you'll read up on her bio on LinkedIn and all the accolades and all the books. Network Beyond Bias, amazing. It's my Bible for active allyship. But out of everything she does, I just want to say Amy is just like an awesome human being. Like she is a person who genuinely cares and gets it and just wants to help make this world a better place, right? A more inclusive place for other humans to come together. And that's really what we're talking about. I'm all about like, let's just get rid of all of the pronouns and the acronyms and the terminology and all the stuff that kind of goes around in our DE&I space. And let's just get down to the heart of the matter. And all for me, the heart of the matter is connecting one human to the other, period. Right? This is a heart issue. This is the softening of your heart and having a heart for other humans, right? And making space and connection. That's what this is about. And Amy is the perfect person to talk to about that. So welcome, Amy. Thank you for your time and for being here with us this afternoon.
Thank you, Angel, for your kind words. As I was watching you promote this, I was like, we have so many amazing conversations. It's a shame we don't record them all. Although we'd probably get a lot of trouble if we
Probably.
did, because we have some pretty good conversations. But no, I'm honored by your friendship and honored to be here today. Thank you.
Absolutely. Okay, well, let's dive right in. Tell us what your take is on this. You've been in this space for quite some time. You have been connecting people and collaborating and just giving people a different way of seeing the world than what they normally are used to seeing. How do you do that in a way that is effective for others? And we're all about, again, creating active allies.
Yeah. So one of the things that I always tell my audiences is we all wake up in the morning with our hearts in the right place, right? You were just talking about this is heart work, and everybody thinks my heart's in the right place. And sadly, they're usually not asked to do a whole lot else besides have their hearts in the right place. So what I always tell folks is everybody woke up today thinking their heart's in the right place. That makes you just like everybody else. If you want to be different, if you really want your heart to be in the right place, you have to move your feet. So your heart can't be in the right place if you never move your feet. And so it's not about what you think and what you feel and what you believe. It's about how you act and where you show up and how you behave and what you say and who's affected.
Oh, so I don't get to fly my own allyship flag, is what I
Why
hear you
not?
say.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Ally is not, you can claim a lot, right? You can put your little stake in the ground all over the place and claim, you can claim your yard and you can claim your house or your apartment and you can claim your job title and you can claim all of these things. But you don't get to call yourself an ally. You get to be an ally and let other people call you that.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. You get to be an ally. I like that. Okay. Okay. So I am so curious. With all your experience and expertise and knowledge and wisdom that you have amassed over the years in this space,
It's so
I'm
kind.
sure that you have a scenario where it's been tough to bring somebody along, right? But at the end, maybe there was a change. Talk to us about maybe that experience and how that worked and about maybe even how long it took.
Yeah, so I'm gonna just pivot that a little bit. I'm gonna tell you, you can't get anybody anywhere they don't already think they are. And this is important, right? Because people believe that they're doing the right things. They believe that they're doing good. And when you can show them the gap kindly, gently, right? Sometimes we have to nurture people a little bit more than maybe we would like because we're impatient, right? But when you can show people the gap between what they think they're doing and their actual impact, you can start to bother them a little. And when you can bother them a little, they can make change. But it's and until they're bothered, they're really comfortable with what they're doing and who they're hanging out with and the way they're showing up. They really don't have a lot of incentive to change. So one of the ways I do that is, you mentioned my book, Network Beyond Bias. I have this networking tool that I use. And it's a really simple assessment you can do literally on the back of a Starbucks napkin, which I know we have a friend in common that was his experience. Right? I sat him down. I said, okay, let's talk about your network. And he was all excited. And then I could see the excitement kind of turn into like this.
Start to wane a little.
Yeah, he was like, he kind of did this thing. He's like, this is really,
oh. My network is a little homogeneous, Amy. What do I
do? And so, but he changed, right? It bothered him. And so he changed. And I see that a lot, right? People think they're doing all the right things. And then when they see on paper what they're actually doing, then they get it. Oh, I'm not doing everything I thought. And that was my journey too. I thought I was doing all the right things, but I hadn't really changed anything except how I thought.
What was your catalyst? How did you move from I'm doing good, my heart's in the right place, I think I'm showing up for people, I think I'm doing all the right things, but you apparently had an aha moment. What was that?
I'm so embarrassed about this, Angel. I took my own assessment.
Wow. Talk about drinking your own champagne.
Yeah. Ooh, I like that. Champagne's a lot nicer than dog food.
Yeah.
So here's what happened. I was getting ready to present at this conference. My frustration with diversity and inclusion work, with all of the stuff that I was volunteering for and showing up with before I was in this field, was I was showing up with my notebook ready to take notes on what can I do about it.
Okay.
And what I was hearing instead is, this is the problem, or this is a problem, or here's another way to think about the problem. And most of the things that I went to weren't very solution oriented, right? Yes, we all have unconscious bias. Yes, there's a glass ceiling. Yes, there's systemic racism. Yes, there's like all of the things that we talk about in this space. Okay. But I didn't walk away with what I personally could do to make a difference. Okay. So in my wonderfully blissful naivete, I said, well, what if we were to talk about what we could actually do about it?
Yeah.
And someone gave me this gift and this curse of, that's great, you have an hour next year at our conference, tell us what to do.
Oh.
And that's about the look I had on my face, like, oh, well, I guess I better figure this out then. And so I had two problems. The first is, anytime you're doing breakout sessions, you're concurrent with other groups, so you have to figure out how to get people in the room. So I had to figure out, like, what do people care about? People care about their careers, right? In the space I was in at the time, especially, people really care about their careers, and they care about doing the right thing. Most people, right, care about those two things a lot. And so I was like, well, how can I intertwine what I want them to do, what I want them to change, with what they need for the things that they care about?
Makes sense.
Because unless you can, it's like putting the aspirin in the applesauce, right? And so unless you can get the applesauce in them, right, you can't give them the aspirin. So I started thinking about, well, everybody in their career needs a really strong network, because we don't get jobs the way we think we get jobs. We don't get opportunity and share opportunity through the official channels that we pretend we do, right? It's not job posting, interview, get the job. It's not that, right? It's, I know somebody who knows somebody who's hiring for a thing that I said last week I could do.
Yep.
And I mentioned that I was looking for a job in that, and somebody 5 people away said, oh, I know somebody that'd be perfect. And we play that.
It happened. That exact thing literally happened 2 days ago for me. I connected somebody who I thought would be a great trainer to somebody else, and they're like, boom.
Yeah, exactly. So that's how it really works. That's how opportunity really gets shared.
Yes.
And so I realized, like, if we have broad and diverse networks and we're very inclusive in our networking, we can share opportunity differently. We can find ourselves in different places. We can receive opportunities from different places, but we can also share them out to different people. And so then I started thinking, well, what would that look like? What would a broad and diverse and inclusive network look like? And I just started brain dumping onto a page and just kind of getting everything out that I could. And these acronyms came to me, CHAMP Network, which are in my book, right? Like, who do you need to be a champion networker? Who do you need? And then how do we figure out who's missing? and be more intentional about including them. And I was so excited about this model. And then I took the assessment. I had it all laid out. I was like, this is going to be great. And then I did it and I said, oh no, I'm not at all who I think I am.
Wow.
So I changed. I changed everything, and everything changed for me.
Mm.
And it's like when you see things clearly for the first time. You've ever seen those videos of people that get the glasses, they're colorblind and they get the glasses and all of a sudden they
Yes.
can see all these colors,
Oh yeah,
right?
tears.
Tears,
That's
always.
so
That's
emotional. Yes.
what changing my network did for me. It was like putting on those glasses, and I could see so much more nuance, and so many things were more vibrant and pronounced because I wasn't just looking with my own eyes anymore. I was looking through the eyes of people that I truly cared about, that were
Yeah.
having different experiences from me. So it occurred to me just this morning, Angel, that for me, D&I doesn't just stand for diversity and inclusion. For me, it stands for disruption and infusion.
Ooh.
How do you disrupt your current thinking?
Yeah.
And how do you infuse these behaviors in everything else you do?
Yeah.
Because until we do those two things, until we disrupt what we're already doing
Yes.
and infuse this in everything, just like we would in companies with quality or, with whatever our values we claim to have, right?
Yep.
This is something that has to be infused in everything. And so I'll give you a quick example, if I may.
Yes, please.
So one of the things that I do in my business, is, I speak at conferences and, in addition to consulting and other things. And someone invited me to speak on, they're doing like an online summit. And she told me I could tell this story. She told me I could use her name, but I won't.
Okay. We protect the innocent or the guilty in these talks.
Exactly. No, and she's a wonderful human, and I wouldn't out her like this. But
Okay. I can't wait to
she
hear this.
she was yeah, I know, right? It's juicy. So she's putting together this summit for women, and I said, great, count me in. Tell me what you need. I've got this time slot available. Tell me what you need.
Okay.
She's like, okay, no problem. So she sent me the link to sign up, and I went to sign up, and I looked at the list of women who are speaking.
Okay.
Sarah, Stephanie, Katie.
Oh,
And I'm thinking, and I'm
Heather,
starting to get
Lisa.
this right. I'm starting to get this really uncomfortable feeling, right? So
Okay.
I just emailed her back very simply, one line, and I said, your speaker lineup will include Black and brown women, correct? And I just waited. And I got an email back from her that literally said, I can't believe you asked me in capital letters this question. I'm a little offended. And so I sat with that for a second. And
Okay.
I thought about it, right? I thought, well, was what I asked her offensive?
Right.
I was assuming positive intent,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. They will
This is
include
what I assume you're doing, correct? Right?
it.
Um, was I challenging her a little bit? Probably.
Yes.
But had I done anything wrong? No. And so I sent back and I said, I never want to assume. I always ask.
Okay.
And I didn't hear from her for a little bit. And then I got something that was a little bit defensive about how, right? And then I didn't hear from her. And then the next day I met with her. We had a Zoom call scheduled. And
Oh, okay.
she said, I mean, that was part of the process, right? We already had this scheduled.
Okay.
And she said, I got to tell you, I wasn't happy with you when you asked me that question, because I
Yeah.
thought, how dare you ask me that question? I'm
Right.
the only person in my industry pushing for this, and she kind of went on her thing. She goes, but then I was so grateful that that's part of your process, that you're pushing every single time with every single person to ensure that the environments that you step into are inclusive for others. And she said, and honestly, I'm honestly a little jealous that I don't always operate that way. And she's like, and I realized as I sat there and I was kind of seething about it, she goes, I realize that's just who you are. And I need to be grateful for that. And I'm not saying that to pump me up, right? I'm not. But here's the lesson in that. I said, white woman to white woman, here's what we need to do.
Okay.
Nothing's going to change if we're not comfortable challenging each other.
Mm.
And we can't take our allyship for granted. I assumed that you were doing the right things,
Yeah.
but I didn't want to assume. And she said, no, here's the thing. I went back and I looked at who was actually speaking, and I needed to make some changes. She's like, I had invited a broad spectrum of people, but I didn't go out of my way to ensure
To confirm and to follow up and
that
to,
that I was going to get the result that I expected. And
right.
she said, and it wasn't until you said that I went and looked and went, oh my gosh, I didn't she
Close the
wasn't
loop on this one. Yeah.
right.
She
She
led with good
wasn't
intention. She casted her net wide, all the things that we tell people to do. She checked all the boxes, but at the end of the day, it did not, it's still, if no one had disrupted, if Amy hadn't been the disruptor, then she would have ended up with the same lineup that she probably would have had a year or two or three prior.
yeah.
Wow.
So
That
it's
perfect.
not always difficult,
Yeah.
right? It's not always complicated, but sometimes it can be very difficult.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, because that is the perfect example of active allyship, right? We're throwing, I have to be cognizant, right? Myself included, we're throwing a lot of tools and techniques at people, right? They ask and we're like, glad you asked. Here you go. Open up your toolkit. We're going to load you up,
Yep.
which is okay. But now it's overwhelming, right? Like, it's like, okay, now I've got a scenario in front of me. Which tool do I pull out, or how do I navigate this? This is new to me. I need some help. I need to bounce this off of. So network. Network and connection, right? So all of those that are out there that are seeking to be active allies, and to take the lesson that Amy just shared and put into practice. First, thank you, right? Thank you for doing the heart work, not hard work, the heart work. But this is a perfect example of how you have to follow through, and that you don't always have to go it alone. Don't worry about going it alone. Reach out, please reach out to Amy, right? Reach out to myself, reach out. Our networks together is pretty freaking powerful. So reach out to us, guaranteed that if we can't help you, we know someone who can. But don't go it alone. There's no need. We're all out here practicing ourselves, myself included, Amy included. So let's just practice doing this heart work together.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome.
My number one tip for folks is always look around and ask yourself who's not in the room and why they're not there already. It's not enough to say we tried.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. I hate that we have to truncate this now, because we could go on for another 30, 40 minutes with this. So thank you so much. For those of you, again, I encourage you to reach out to Amy, available for talking, speaking, workshops, long-term engagements. She does all the things and wears all the hats and is phenomenal at it. So thank you, ma'am. I appreciate your active allyship for me. I want to show up and continue to be an active ally for you, and we are going to be disruptors together.
We are. Thank you, Angel, so much.
Awesome. Okay. Thanks all. Bye.